Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Reduce your ping time and get faster speeds when you game at expressvpn.com/funhaus. Hey everybody,
Dennis
welcome to the Funhaus podcast. This is recorded on May 18th, 2021. So if you're watching this when it goes up on YouTube on Thursday and you see that our stories are egregiously out of date and out of touch, blame production. But yeah, welcome to the show. This is the show where we talk about all things pop culture and news and video games and whatever. I mean, Ryan's going to have some kind of crazy story. I'm your host for this week, Elise Willems, and I am joined by Ryan Haley. Hey, Ryan. How's it going?
Hello, Elise. How are you?
Ryan, for our audio listeners, right off the top of the show, this alienates you because Ryan has two cameras that he is switching between.
I thought, alienates. That was a good lead in to our topic today. Whoa!
Oh, very well done.
Look at this! Wow, he's spinning.
Oh my God.
For our audio listeners,
if you could hear this,
gravity has been flipped for our audio listeners. My floor is on my ceiling and vice versa, and I'm about to puke.
All right, well, we'll check in with that later in the show. Also joined by Omar de Armas. Hey, Omar. How's it going?
Hey, turning upside down is not gravity flipping. Just saying.
Oh.
But,
wow. Okay.
That's
Wait,
what I meant,
why
turning
not?
upside down.
Hey, we're only here to talk about very real space topics. And you need to be true to gravity, okay?
True to gravity.
Space.
Sorry, Isaac.
Who's Isaac? Oh, are you talking about Isaac Newton?
Yeah,
Yes.
The creator of Apple
Creator of
computers.
gravity.
The inventor of
An
gravity.
iMac fell on his head.
And last but very not least, Charlotte McGrath.
Definitely,
Hey, Charlotte.
no, definitely
How you
not.
doing?
I'm doing good. And I also have two cameras for audio listeners. I'll take care of that. And my physics teacher in... There I am twice. My physics teacher in high school used the upside down tunnel scene from Men in Black 2 to teach us about centrifugal forces, saying that what would be keeping the car on the ceiling would mean that Tommy Lee Jones's hair wouldn't be falling down towards the street. And now I can't watch that movie anymore because I've realized it's a sham.
Well, the last thing that the directors would want to do is anger Tommy Lee Jones. I know that for a fact.
Oh, no, he's a firecracker.
Yeah.
That's why they cast him in Volcano. Sorry.
No, please. Is he in Volcano? I've never seen it.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's good in that movie.
Yeah. He's good in that movie.
That's good
thought
to
he was
know.
in
I'll
Dante's
put that on the list.
That's James Bond.
What do you mean, Pierce
Another man
Brosnan?
who defies gravity. Yeah, well, yes, but who is James Bond? Pierce Brosnan is James Bond.
I mean, I know
Is he
him
the
as...
canonical James
Gravity?
Bond for you?
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Really?
It's just Pierce
He's
Brosnan.
the James
huh?
Bond of my childhood. He's the James Bond of my life. That's how I look at
Of your
it.
loves. Of your life.
It's interesting because I would say Remington Steele is how I would say Remington Steele was in that movie. You guys don't.
Okay.
Do you guys?
That's your James Bond?
I don't remember his run of Bond movies.
Oh, jeez. Well, this is the cast today. Take it or leave it. Also, watching from the wings.
Off to a roaring start.
Watching from the wings, who I guarantee probably hasn't heard of Remington Steele, but is Armando Torres, our new producer and fact checker, writer extraordinaire. Hey, Mondo, how's it going?
Hey, this has been great. I get to watch you fucking nerds talk about science, which has been a real pleasure for me.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know this, but behind Omar, each one of those shoe boxes actually also contains a science book.
Whoa. I didn't know.
Behind every
There's
strong
little
Omar
gravity
is a
wells
science
in
book.
everything, in every box.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Omar? Were you aware?
No, I wasn't.
Why are
It's
you
news
so
to
up
me.
on gravity? Or down on it, should I say? Or one or the other.
It's the one constant in life, Charlotte. You have to be down with gravity.
That's not true. Death, taxes, and gravity. All three.
Those are all due to
together.
gravity, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gravity, the underlying force behind the economy.
Well,
Yeah.
I put all my tax documents in an envelope and drop it off my roof and just assume it will get where it needs to go. And it's worked so far.
Well, that's good to know because I do your taxes.
Oh, thank you so much. You're really pretty good at it.
And it's usually half the challenge is just finding the paperwork.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
like
is today the
geocaching.
day? Today was the day. No, yesterday was the day.
No, yesterday
Yesterday
was
was
that.
California,
Tax day.
You missed
California, they auto extend it,
I got
which I
that
take full
extension.
advantage of every year.
I don't
If they don't get it,
understand
they just assume you'll get it there in October.
I don't get the people that are like, leave it to the last day to do your taxes. I really don't get it. And then when you get an extension, you leave it until that. Charlotte, can you please explain why?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting kind of, a bunch of things that come together, and that I'm very lazy.
Oh,
and
I see.
Yeah.
If I'm given extra time to do something, I'll take all of it.
I have a question. What do you get out of doing your taxes so early, Elise?
Yeah.
I sleep at night.
Yeah, the stress off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Not having to think about something anymore.
I
I
think
only
about it for like
operate
2
best
hours.
with stress.
There's
like that
no sleep better than sleeping while knowing you're supposed to be doing something else. That is
Yeah, because you punt it till the next day. That's a future Charlotte problem. That's a future
Yeah.
Mondo problem.
I
That's
just
a
want to
future
point
Ryan
out that
problem.
sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get people to talk on the show, but you all just at once bounded forward to protest why you shouldn't pay your taxes until the last second.
That's
talked
right. That
over
was
each
just a
other.
question for me.
Yeah, I
don't-
also want to point out
I-
that the two people that knew the most about doing their taxes early are the gravity nerds. You guys are just the nerds in every aspect of life.
Just
Here,
dorks.
here is my big reason that I don't think you can refute, Elise, is that I fucking hate giving Uncle Sam my hard-earned tax money.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and so
Go
here's
off,
the thing.
Ryan.
If I extend my taxes as long as humanly possible and don't give them my taxes, and then I get into a fatal accident and die, they'll never get it.
Let me
Okay?
ask you a question, Ryan. When you do you get money taken out of your paycheck every other week for
I get
taxes?
a little bit.
A little
So-
bit. Okay, so you're okay. So you're okay with giving the tax man your money. I would say you hang on to that money, you collect interest on it throughout the year, and then you give it to the. I would say if you really hate giving your taxes, that's what you do, Ryan. But apparently you like giving your taxes.
No. I've done that before, but there is a psychological component to me being so pissed off if I actually don't take anything out month to month, and then that day comes, I'm like, I owe what?
Yeah.
Right now? Are you kidding me? I would prefer.
I would
that.
not recommend doing what I just suggested.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
at all.
I'm a dum-dum, and the carrot at the end of the stick system of the tax return works for me because it is my money. But when it gets deposited after being taken away from me, I'm like, oh boy, I'm gonna buy a new bicycle or some candy or some like a pinwheel hat, and it really works on me, and I know it does. I have full awareness, and yet I let Uncle Sam take me for a ride every year.
Yeah, Armando Torres hasn't
Trickle
paid
down
taxes.
economics.
Armando Torres hasn't paid taxes his entire adult life, but that's just
God, you're
because
smart.
legally on paper,
You're 17.
I'm Omar de Armas Jr.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's the skirt the system. Well, we'll talk about taxes and more in a minute. Thanks for popping in, Mondo. We'll catch you back in a little bit. I just wanted to do some quick housekeeping, talk a little bit because we had an exciting week at Funhaus. We did a live show on Friday, Murder from the Top Rope, produced by Dan.
We did.
Just like a RP wrestling murder mystery, and it was awesome. Can we just talk about
I
that? Just let it
agree.
breathe.
Yeah, I mean, the three
It
of
was
you here
radical.
were on the show. Dan Schneider produced the show and wrote the whole thing and was a cast member in it. I think it came out fantastic, and it's up for first members right now. If you're a first member, go check it out.
Omar, you supervised, produced, made the wheels move in motion, TD'd it. You know?
Actually, Cody did. Our
Cody.
one and only Cody here. Cody TD'd that show for us.
That's right. That's right.
Remote,
That's right.
from across the country.
Halfway across the country. And it
great.
worked. It was fun.
It went way smoother than it had any right to. I know I wasn't anywhere near the production, but like just hearing all the details, I was like, oh God, oh no.
Yeah,
Live
absolutely.
and Zoom and cast members and different mics, and it went great. And Toby was a joy.
Toby was my crow, taxidermied crow that I talked to and told me secrets about everyone else. And I played like a Paul Bearer type, if you remember the Undertaker's manager. And then Charlotte was a flight attendant, and Darlene the cockpit queen, and then Ryan
correct.
was the man scout.
Yes, grown up Boy Scout, Man
And
Scout.
James was someone Derrickson.
Dean the Dream.
Dean the Dream Derrickson. He was
Dean
like
the
a
Dream
Ric
Derrickson.
Flair kind of dupe. But
I think he pulled that off really well,
Fucking
too.
dupe.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
It was fun being back in the office. Ryan, can we tell your story about the sandwich, or is that off limits?
About what? About this? Oh, sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure. That
Like we're missing an
a
important
simple
party.
accident.
Okay, well, I'll kick it off and then I'll give the baseline details, and then Ryan, you can fill it in.
Okay.
But and tell us what was going through your head at the time. But we all, of course, like super busy during the day, so we ordered food, had it delivered to the office, and it all came. Omar and I were like so dismayed because it all just came unmarked. Like nobody's food was labeled with their name or anything. And so we're trying to sort through all this. There's like 15 orders, and we sit down to eat, and Ryan sits next to me. He's got his order, his food. And Ryan, thoughts going through your head when you went to get that order?
Well, I knew I'd gotten a big ass breakfast sandwich that was just huge, and I'd ordered all this extra cool stuff on it, and this looked like to be one of the biggest ones. And I was like, oh, this must be my thing. And it looked like it had meat that looked like bacon. That's important because I added a lot of bacon on mine.
Meat that looks like bacon.
But it also had a bunch of powdered like sugar stuff on top of it, like it would be on top of a pancake. And I was like, that's weird. I didn't know that was going to come on it. And then I take a big old bite out of it, and I'm like, that's not bacon. That's just a bunch of ham or something. And then I look, and sure enough, no bacon. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? And who have I done it to?
Sure enough, it was a turkey club, not a breakfast sandwich at all.
And
Okay,
not that
turkey.
big, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I don't think by
was huge.
size it was.
Ryan
sure.
starts
It
going.
was
He's
huge.
like, oh God, this isn't my sandwich. This isn't my sandwich. And then I turn, and your reaction is to get like a Post-it and a Sharpie, and then leave a note.
He
No,
went
just
right
on the thing.
on the
Yeah.
container.
Oh, on the container. Yeah, you're writing on the container.
No middleman involved. Well, we tried to narrow it down at first, and no one in the room had ordered that sandwich.
No. But what did you?
Definitely not Ryan.
What did you write,
Definitely not
Ryan?
I just wanted to explain myself to anyone who opened their sandwich up, and so I wrote exactly what happened. I said, "Dear whoever's sandwich this is," I don't think I wrote that, but I said, "I just ate a bite of this. I'm so very sorry. I thought it was mine. My bad. Please forgive me," or something. Love, Ryan. And it was just an apology.
But can you imagine?
It feels so bad.
Yeah.
The funniest part is that we're still in a pandemic, and so someone was going to
Yeah.
find their sandwich with a note on it that a bite was.
I took a
taken
bite
of
out
it.
of your sandwich. Well, there was a not brief moment when we thought it was the COVID compliance officers, which is something you have on set in these times, is an outside person, usually a third party, who
That'll
comes
be-
in to make sure that you're being safely distanced and wearing masks. And we
That
were like,
would have been
oh
just
my
my luck."
God. What if Ryan got his mouth all over the COVID officer's sandwich?
Oh God, that would.
I think one of the
Ironic.
funnier
Don't you think?
one of the funnier details to me is Ryan ordered a sandwich that was inside a croissant, right? And the sandwich that he took a bite out of wasn't in a croissant.
No, but
And
it was a
wasn't-
very flaky bread. It was a very.
But there was
flaky
also
bread.
a croissant sandwich there as well, and
Yeah.
how that
Sauce
wasn't the
looked
most
weird.
identifying.
It was a flaky bread. I'll give that to Ryan. I'm gonna
Thank you.
step over the line in the sand and stand
And I'll
firmly
say-
in
It was
Camp Haley
wheat
for
bread.
a second.
Sometimes you like order the food and you read the description, and then what shows up, you weren't really even paying. Like Charlotte and I both got eggs Benedict,
Benedict.
and we both kind
Very
of opened those
strange.
containers, and we're like, not what we expected.
Yeah.
What did we
and
think
they
we
messed
were
up
getting?
Lindsay's order too, so like there was a precedent for like maybe it was Ryan's.
But yeah, oh God, if it had been that COVID compliance officer, that would have been the perfect sitcom twist.
There would have been no live show. We would have gone home.
That's a straight up Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. Like
Yes.
I'm saying.
Of all the people that you don't fucking want to eat their sandwich, and leave a note. It was so funny though.
Did you do the right thing and leave half of your other sandwich for the person's sandwich that you took a bite out of?
Well, that's a good question, but no. But I did see Dan later. It was Dan's. We found out it was Dan, and he gave me a hard time. And I think he really didn't eat a sandwich.
Well, he got a hint when it happened initially. We figured out it was Dan's. Mondo went back because Dan was very busy ahead of the live thing and said, Ryan did something to your sandwich.
What? That's not. Something is so much worse than a bite.
Detail than that. Apparently, when Dan saw him later, he said, "I thought you were joking."
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dan.
He was so looking for, busting his ass over this live event, a baby at home, just,
Yeah.
putting in
for
the
3
work.
days.
Yeah.
And then Mondo doesn't even tell it to him straight, gives him a cryptic message about the
Ryan
sandwich.
did something.
It was
to
all
your
explained on the
sandwich.
box. It was all explained from on the box. I wish Mondo hadn't said anything. Mondo!
I love it. It's going to go down in Funhaus lore as the sandwich story.
As peak Ryan Haley.
We were laughing a lot about
As
it when
Matt
we went
Pete
for drinks
Rydell.
afterwards.
So yeah, I do appreciate that Ryan, he owned up to it, and there was no deception. There was no trying to like beat around the bush. He took the bite. He owned up to it. Not unlike some controversy happening right now regarding Flamin Hot Cheetos.
Oh my God! Yes, can't wait to talk about
Story
Okay.
of the
This has
century.
been blowing my mind.
So here's the situation.
What a scam!
Everyone knows the history of Flamin Hot Cheetos, the lore that we've been told behind this precious snack, which is that. Oh, please.
I was just saying, when did you learn? Yeah, but the timeline of this is what also intrigues me. So when did you learn about the initial Flaming Hot Cheetos story?
The recently debunked one?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that it had been debunked. I just knew that it was this kind of like, situation where somebody from the bottom pitched this idea and it became a thing. But I didn't know that it had been debunked. Did you?
Well, no. I thought that the big scam part is I thought what we were going to talk about.
Yeah,
because up till now, when I heard about this story, it was when Eva Longoria decided to make a movie.
Yeah.
about
Well,
it.
I was going
right,
to explain
yeah.
all that.
Yeah. Okay, sorry to cut you
Oh
off.
no.
Sorry to cut you off. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh my God. I can't
yeah,
believe you, Ryan.
The story being
Just taking a
that
bite out of her story.
the flavor of Flamin' Hot Cheetos came to be because a janitor at a Frito-Lay factory in California came up with the idea, pitched it to a visiting executive. It blew up, and then that same janitor rose through the ranks, became a marketing exec, and just the godfather of Flamin' Hot snacks. The brand. And then his name's Richard Montañez. Montañez.
I think there's a tilde in
Montañez. And he had a memoir that was supposed to drop this June. And then, like Ryan said, there was going to be a movie about him directed by Eva Longoria, like this whole fanfare around somebody that invented a snack. But now people are calling bullshit on Richard, and especially the LA Times, who they did a full expose saying that the real story is that a bunch of Midwestern Frito-Lay employees saw that spicy chips are this Latino snack staple, and then kind of urged the company to, develop a chip that had this seasoning and taste to it. And so it was actually like this team of snack food professionals in Plano, Texas, who then developed the Flamin' Hot snacks. And basically the LA Times was like looking through these, records, internal records, archive promotional material that suggests that the idea was being tested long before Richard claims to have pitched the idea, even though he's credited as the inventor. And since the news broke, Richard, he's like gotten super defensive about it. He made this like cryptic Instagram message about, people need to write their own history, which is like, well, dude, that just means like, isn't lying writing your own history? But yeah, I wanted to gauge everybody's take on this because it kind of, shatters your worldview.
Yeah, there's like MCU levels of lore and context here. As I was reading through, and I'll just say first that kind of as a testament to how things feel so much older than they are on the internet. If you had asked me, I would have said this is a story that I'd heard like 7 to 8 years ago and was just cemented in the zeitgeist. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, the zeitgeist.
The world, whatever, the zeitgeist, sure. But like in history, but then it turns out that like, oh yeah, I guess I didn't hear about it till like a year ago, maybe 2, when the Eva Longoria picture was announced, and I was like, huh, what a strange idea for a film.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like,
yeah.
I have never heard this story before this topic came up. Should I?
It's American mythology.
There's like a California subculture thing that I'm just missing completely because I didn't know the story of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Well, I think it's like specifically also like a Latino thing, like, which is why I have a special I have a special individual consultant that we brought here today. Ooh, it was actually our producer, Armando Torres. Armando, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show, Armando.
To talk to us about
there we go. Look at that smile.
this kind of Latino snacking craze and how the culture, because these chips were only introduced. The Flamin' Hot Cheeto was only introduced in 1992, but I really can't remember a life before it. Armando?
Omar and I talked about this on Friday when we were in the office. Hot Cheetos, Flamin' Hot chips in general have been like a staple of like my life because I grew up in Los Angeles. So they've been in my life and a part of my life forever. In fact, my first day working in the office, my breakfast was from the break room, a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos with lime in them.
With lime,
that I fucking drank like I was shotgunning a beer. This is a story that that was me. That was me standing in the break room.
Yeah, we're looking at a picture of Richard. He's in a suit and he's standing proudly behind a display of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yeah, I might be a little different than y'all. When I was growing up here, that was just kind of like a story that everyone knew. Like everyone knew that Flamin' Hot Cheetos were, because they were from the factory in Rancho Cucamonga, which is like over in the Inland Empire. It's a crazy name for a place and an even crazier place in general. But that was just the story that they told us. Like, hey kids, you can be anything because a man who worked in a factory as a janitor, he came up with this idea for this chip. He said he came up with it because as a kid, he used to take chips and put chili and lime on them. And I was like, yeah, dude. Everyone did that. Every Latino in Southern California, it didn't matter what it was. I remember if we couldn't get Flamin' Hot Cheetos, we would just take regular Cheetos and pour tapatio on them and then just
mix
styrofoam.
Styrofoam peanut packaging peanuts and just put a little chili.
Yeah.
Wood chips.
And then they're good. And so we were trying to come up with topics for this week. And Elise was like, hey, did you hear that the guy who invented Flaming Hot Cheetos was a liar? And I think the text I sent you was, no!
Yeah, I think if you'd been on camera, we would have seen your heart crush into, much like a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
Underfoot.
It broke my fucking heart. I've already said this, but it felt like you told me Jesus wasn't real. And I just, it crushed me.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Armando, that was like when white people found out that James Frey, who wrote Million Little Pieces and was on Oprah, that he lied about doing drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
I would say Lance Armstrong, too.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people had to throw
mostly
away their
drug-related
bracelets
stuff.
for good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of performance enhancers. Yeah.
What's crazy
Ryan
is
looks pensive.
Well, yes, it sucks that this guy lied to all of our faces, and it's Santa Claus all over again.
Wait,
Hold on,
hold on,
whoa.
what the fuck did you just say about Santa Claus?
Okay, I'm sorry, anyone listening. Don't just forget what I said. But here's what the extra layer that blows my mind is how we're in this digital age where any bullshit can get sniffed out in a second. Okay, and how does this story get told to you your entire life, and then Eva Longoria comes around and is going to make a movie about it, gets that far into production, and it goes, the story obviously had gone viral before that, but how does Frito-Lay is complicit in this is all I'm trying to say.
Not complicit. They're the perpetrators, right?
Yeah.
When did they know? How much did they know? And when did they know it? And when did they decide to turn? Was it when the LA Times was doing an expose and they're like, okay, we got to now spill the beans?
Well,
did they just want this heartwarming story to live on and help humanity like Santa Claus? And they weren't going to tell on Santa Claus?
Here's the thing is Frito-Lay is now kind of walking back that supporting the origin story of Richard.
They're turning on him, throwing him under the bus.
They're turning on him, and then this is what Richard had to say about it. He said, "All I can tell you is what I did. All I have is my history, what I did in my kitchen." And then a Flamin' Hot Cheetos of the company, he says, "I was their greatest ambassador, but I will say this: you're going to love your company more than they will ever love you. Keep that in perspective."
Is that
my
true, Omar?
God.
About Funhaus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well-
we don't give a shit about you individually.
That's why they let me eat hot Cheetos for breakfast on
I like
day
to know
one.
where I stand.
Yeah, because I read some quote from one of the people that was on that team that came up with it, and they went and complained to Frito-Lay a couple years, like 3 years ago, and they were like, why he's going around saying that he made our shit, what the fuck. And so I'm surprised that person didn't go to the press. I'm surprised it just the whole process took 3 years.
You know
for us
what?
to
I
find
guess
this out.
I guess maybe
I'm sick of this mob justice witch hunt against Montañez, the creator of the Flamin' Hot
that's
Cheetos.
where
Don't
we're just
double
gonna
down,
listen to
Charlotte.
No, I get
a
it.
corporation over a proud rags to riches bootstraps grabbing American. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this was communist Russia or whatever.
I know this might be a flaming hot take, but this is cancel culture coming back.
so. I do
Flamin' hot.
think that
Taking all of our
Frito-Lay
heroes.
Frito-Lay may have
Who's
dipped
next, Dr.
into and
Seuss?
started investigating this themselves. Like they internally may have been like, hang on, we're not so sure. We need to kind of revisit this. And,
Yeah.
But
you
they-
know,
they
I am
knew
so
already, though.
confused about the timeline here. He was He
Okay.
So he said he invented it, and then he became a spokesperson for the company. That means the
Yeah.
company endorsed him being the creator, but knowing full well he wasn't. I don't understand that.
here's-
None of this makes sense.
Here's what happened.
Roast
If you
the
want
ranks first.
if you want the real story, because he lied about a bunch of shit. First of all, he told everyone, and what I was told was that he was a janitor, but that's not true. He was not a
Yes.
janitor. He was already like a machinist
he was
expert.
I think he
or
worked in the
something.
factory, yeah.
Yeah, he worked in the factory, but he wasn't a janitor. He was somebody that was a little higher up that was in charge of waste management and how they're supposed to be more efficient.
He was a
or something.
machinist operator.
Yeah, I said machinist operator, which sounds
I was confused. I didn't want to point that out because I thought I didn't know what that meant.
no, that was me. He wore a mech suit made out of fucking Cheetos and just walked around. So he was a little higher up than a janitor, and what it sounds like, what he's actually credited with, is he's credited with the invention of Flamin' Hot popcorn, which means that he came up with the idea of making popcorn spicier and brought it to them around the time, a year or two after they had already been market testing Flamin' Hot Cheetos. So they just kind of made him a part of the team, and he was like, wow, look how much shit I got fucking done. And then they kind of let him be the spokesperson, which you're right, Ryan, they let him be the spokesperson. And then if you read through the entire article, they're like, well, a lot of projects don't get off the ground unless we have a charismatic spokesperson or a charismatic figure behind it. And they realized that the story of a bunch of white people in Texas in the Midwest realizing Latinos like spicy food wasn't as good as a guy was let's make it more spicy and just putting it out there. So they just kind of let him have it.
I'll say this too, this was, late 80s, early 90s. The people changed at the top of this executive structure. So the people that may have been doing this back then and been let's let this fly. New people might be looking into this now and going, in the last 5 years going what? Who
Right,
is
I'm
this
sorry,
dude? What's he
excuse me?
saying?
Yeah, the guy that they said, or that Richard says, was his mentor, died in 2001 in a snorkeling accident or something.
Oh my God!
Accident.
This is so
God.
deep. Accident.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Snorkeling
Raised
claims
by the company.
another soul.
It's coming in
I
flaming
just-
hot there with that.
I
take.
just have to give it up for him, and it's so funny that the company just stood in line with what he was saying, because he took such a big swing. It wasn't like he looked at the facts and said, how can I reasonably say that I did this? No, he was like, I gave a presentation to a room of 100 executives, high-level, high-ranking executives. They cheered, and then all it took, they talked to 20 people who were like, I don't remember that. I think I would have heard of that. And I think this is a bygone era of lying about small stakes things, relatively small stakes things.
When
This guy's like, what can I get away with?
when I worked at GameStop, the story that they always told us was that the idea to sell used games it originated with somebody that was just a store worker, base level retail employee that then pitched this idea up, and then now that they are in the echelon of executives. And if you pitch an idea and GameStop likes it, someday that could be you too. But now I'm like, was that true? Or did somebody just think that you can resell a used game? I don't know.
That was just a bunch of executives in the Midwest.
Whose idea was it to put the $3 warranties on games?
Well, you know, Latinos love to resell games.
They do.
If I was Eva Longoria, I would be going back to my script, and I would be like, all right, I'm going to change this thing to, instead of being the rags to riches awesome American story, it'd be like this manipulative, like the founder style with Michael Keaton. You know, like this guy who was just like, I'm gonna claim I invented Cheetos. Like, that's crazy, and then get away with it for 3 years.
Remember, this is only like 10 years after
swindle.
you could have a secret family by just saying your name was like Peter or something.
The next town over. You know, like only a mile away, but nobody knew.
And there definitely,
if you can remake,
there would definitely be a scene where he's telling somebody about his plan, and then he says, you know, they go, what about the evidence? And then he goes, you know, we just make the evidence disappear, and that's when he crumples up the Cheetos, so it's just dust.
That's when he opens the bag to reveal that it's 80% air. There's only like 5 Cheetos in there anyway.
I
was just gonna say the trailer is like Wolf of Wall Street, that Matthew McConaughey movie, Gold. Like Kanye West's like black skin is like, and like the is him opening a bag of Cheetos, and like there's a point where someone's like, these just aren't hot enough, and he goes.
But they catch him because he leaves Cheeto fingerprints somewhere.
Yeah,
that's what his
and
one
there's
downfall.
Definitely
was
there's a tiger
so
involved.
mad.
That's the basis for Chester Cheeto.
I was so mad that through
Oops.
the entire article, no one made a caught him red-handed joke. I read through several different articles.
I guess they're more red. Well, Armando, any final parting thoughts on this whole controversy? Like, where do you stand now? Do you stand on the side of truth, or do you want to keep believing this comforting lie?
Well, I mean, it's obvious that you have your biases with how you set me up.
True.
You know, I didn't want it to be this way, but I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice right now to Funhaus.
You haven't even worked here for 2 weeks.
It's a new record.
Yeah, you have to wait a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm the one who pitched the Funhaus podcast. All right. I had the idea.
Shit.
I was working as a lowly streamer, and then I came to Omar and I was like, look, man, you got to show me to Mr. Teeth, the CEO of Rooster Teeth. I've got this crazy idea.
Actually, there was a committee of us that all came up with it in the Midwest.
Yeah, from the Midwest.
I really, if you want an honest idea, I think what happened is he pitched this idea and he got put onto this thing, and they gave him more power because he's very charismatic. He's like a public speaker. Now anyway, and I think that the story got more and more exaggerated the longer he started telling it, and I think that he might just be one of those people that told the lie so many times he forgot what the truth actually was. I think that's really truly what happened.
He convinced himself of a new truth.
Yeah.
I think there's a grain of Cheeto dust to what you just said.
Well, on that note, we'll check in with this story in the weeks to come. We won't. But for now, we're going to hear a word from some of our own sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Creating a website for your small business or a personal project can be super intimidating, but thanks to Squarespace, it's extra easy. Whether you have an online store or you're looking to track analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for all your website needs. I've used it. I've built websites with Squarespace, and they're right. It's very easy, and it's easy to make your website look good. That's the part that most people don't tell you. Putting the information in there is half of it, but then making it look like, hey, maybe a designer put this down. That's the other half. And Squarespace has templates and all kinds of tools that help you do that. It can help you stand out in inboxes with Squarespace email campaigns, add posts from social profiles to your site, and even auto push website content to your social channels. Squarespace even gives you a traffic overview so you can gain insight into your top traffic sources, products, device types, browsers, and operating systems by visits. Plus, all of Squarespace sites are optimized for mobile, so your content will automatically adjust to look good no matter what device it's being viewed on. So check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/dudesoup to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. A few decades ago, private citizens used to be largely that, private. You know what I'm saying? This is pre-internet. Now we're all online. Everybody has access to you. It used to be that celebs like, I don't know, James Willems, they only had to worry about their private lives, but now everybody is a public figure in this era. So to keep your online data private, use ExpressVPN. We use it at Funhaus all the time, every single day, especially going from work from home. It's been a godsend. There are hundreds of data brokers out there who buy and sell your data. One of these data points is your IP address, which they use to identify you and your location. But ExpressVPN reroutes your connection through an encrypted server and masks your IP address. And that makes it more difficult for third parties to identify you and harvest your data. It's easy to use, and it does what it says it's going to do. So if, like us at Funhaus, you believe that your data is your business, secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN on the market. Visit expressvpn.com/dude, that's DUDE, and get 3 months extra for free. That's expressvpn.com/dude. Go to expressvpn.com/dude to learn more. This episode of Funhaus Podcast is brought to you by Upstart. Do you dread looking at your credit card statement every month? Everyone does. It's not just you. But Upstart is the fast and easy way to help you pay off your debt with a personal loan all online. Whether you're paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have gotten a simple fixed monthly payment with Upstart. Other lenders judge you solely by your credit score, but Upstart looks at your income and employment history so they can offer smart rates with trusted partners. Get a 5-minute online rate check to see your rate up front. And find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/dudesoup. That's upstart.com/dudesoup, DUDESOUP. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/dudesoup. And we're back. As usual, shit is getting real in the Target parking lot. So because of the pandemic, people just feeling nostalgic, going through their old stuff, digging through boxes and attics and whatever, somehow collectible trading cards just took on a life. This industry came back with a force, took on a life of its own. People are now fighting over trading cards. Prices are skyrocketing. There's even robbery that's happening. Target and McDonald's were selling rare cards, Pokemon cards, and people tried to burglarize them. There have been fights in parking lots of people trying to take these cards and steal them from other people. In March, a Tokyo man climbed a 6-story building and then used a tool to cut a hole in the ceiling and then propelled down a rope to steal $11,000 worth of Pokemon cards from the collectible shop on the below. Yeah,
they were asking for it.
In Wisconsin, a man was almost mugged outside of a Target over his trading card haul. 4 other unidentified men tried to jump this guy, and then so he pulled out a gun and was like, fuck you, you ain't coming for my Pokemon cards. All this stuff is going down. And I guess my first question to all of you is have any of you felt this itch this last year? Because I know for me, the pandemic was a big point of looking for comfort and nostalgia. There was a big period of time where I felt like I was on summer vacation, but then I was like, no, bitch, you're working 40 hours a week. What are you talking about? But they had this.
You're working 80 hours a week.
Yeah. Yeah. But there was just this feeling of I don't know how to describe it even, but did any of you find yourselves in this place?
No. I mean, I'll start. I definitely the pandemic and stuff and work from, the quarantine drove me back into comfort television and stuff, comfort consumption of old media, but not spending shitloads of money on old toys and cards and stuff. My question is, where does this money come from? Where is all this money coming from?
That's how I feel about NFTs.
$400,000 to spend on a card. Where does that?
Probably Dogecoin, right?
It seems
right, that's something.
This seems like the biggest cover up money laundering thing that's ever existed, right? This is all laundering of weird money. None of this is real, and we're all just like witnessing the greatest grift that's ever existed.
Well, now that the LA Times investigative department has finished up their expose on Flamin Hot Cheetos, they can switch focus to the newer grift, I suppose.
Yeah.
So wait, you think that you don't think that there's genuine demand for these cards right now because of all the stuff Elise was saying? You think that there's some rich drug dealers or something hyping up the price to pump and dump Pokemon cards? Is that, your theory, Omar?
Yes, that is my theory, and I'm sticking to it because this is too much money. The NFT thing from a couple weeks ago, like fucking all these crypto coins and stuff, like it's too much money. I don't have any money. How do all these people have $400,000 to spend on a fucking Pokemon card?
Who's buying it? I think my question was like, was there something that happened, someone that stimulated the market that like made this happen? Or was it just this collective hive mind of like everybody started buying this stuff at the same time?
I think it always comes back with these things. The kids these days.
It's the kids these days.
There's peaks and valleys of people's interest in Pokemon, and it's just here we are back at the circle of life.
Do you think there are any
Pikachus and valleys?
Do you think that this ecosystem has any children involved in it at all? Like,
absolutely.
These are childless. These are childless like scientists who are well compensated and have nothing else to blow their cash on. Well, I don't know why I said scientists.
You're right. I'm not saying you're not wrong, Omar, in the sense that there's a bunch of older people that were back, in the original Pokemon craze that are either capitalizing off it now or getting back into it. But I also think that there's a bunch of kids that are trading these things too because they're fun to trade and play. It's a card game at the end of the day.
It is, but this isn't a card game. This is some weird cash machine thing.
Well, the higher end that is making all the press, yes, but the people are getting that are getting in fights at McDonald's and Target aren't the high end collector that are trading that one rare whatever the fuck Onyx or something. It's like they're just regular people that are into the craze because
they want to be the ones making $100,000 on their Onyx card.
Hey, somebody's got to.
New York Magazine has a piece on it, and they spoke to someone who is a representative over at, or the executive chairman of Golden Auctions, who has like handed the sale of some of these high end cards, and he's quoted as saying that he's seen a rise in younger people buying like millennials, Gen Z, because people are not, this generation isn't buying stocks, they're not purchasing art, but they're looking for like these non-traditional assets that they can invest in and then, make money on. So it's like they're strategic assets in a way. There's less of like an emotional connection, which I think is true, because when we used to collect like cards and stuff when we were kids, it was, you were never like, oh, I'm going to collect this because it's going to be worth a lot someday. It was the emotional aspect.
Well, the Beanie Babies thing kind of is a 1-1 for that, because I remember everyone being at the time like, oh man, these are going to be worth hundreds, thousands one day. You could pay off your children's mortgages or whatever the fuck,
And it was the only good time to sell them. And everyone was like, buy.
Wasn't there a story about like this couple that got divorced and then they had to divide up their Beanie Baby collection?
That should be an NFT, and I would pay $300,000 for that.
Where did you get that money?
This, all of you?
No, I've heard of it.
Oh God! There's a photo of this. It's the most '90s photo of this couple in divorce court on the floor in front of their honor. Fuck, what's it called? A judge. They're on the floor in front of the judge with a big pile of Beanie Babies separating them down the middle. And there's so much scorn and there's so much spite and there's so much just distaste in this photo, and it's so funny because none of it's worth anything. None of it's worth anything anymore. There it is. Oh my God! Look at his polo shirt. Look at his sneakers.
Oh,
good
and
Lord.
I hope the Beanie Babies is what ruined the marriage.
Oh, I feel bad for them.
Almost
for the Beanie Babies.
They wanted full custody.
What if, ironically, it ended up being the Princess Diana Beanie Baby that was their biggest thing that drove them apart? So it was like her death, caused the deaths of relationships too. So that'd be in the movie. Sorry, I won't.
No, it's because he hit her with his car, his wife.
I think what's interesting about this is it's like an unprecedented surge in it, and a lot of the heads of memorabilia companies and people that deal in this and have dealt with it for 30, 40 years, they're like, I've never seen anything like this. This is a whole new market from what we are used to. And again, just a case study in we can't have nice things. Now Target is no longer selling Pokemon cards due to safety concerns. Like McDonald's, I think, shut down their card stuff too. And it's like, and it also, I think it applies to like sports cards too, NBA, MLB, NFL.
Yeah, I think all cards have, like, the high tide raises all the boats. Like, all of these collectible things have seen a resurgence in money flow. But yeah, the fact that like Target is like, we're not going to sell these anymore because people are too crazy is insane. This is just insanity that it's gotten to that.
I think
demand is high.
It is. Like, we're dealing with like product scarcity across the board in a way we haven't had to contend with for like a decade because of COVID. Like, remember when you couldn't buy anything last year? Like anything. Yeah. Like, everything was out of stock. Everything was back ordered. Everything would take 3 months to ship. And then the PS5, Jesus Christ, that was insane. And then I think people, I don't know, maybe that's just on the top level is the idea of something that only a few people can get. And that's fueling in with the like, cabin fever that everybody has, and the fact that millennials are not investing or buying houses and making so much dang avocado toast out there.
Avocado toast. We feel like shut out. You feel shut out of these traditional markets the boomers have sort of like monopolized. And I was listening to this like podcast the other day about, it was just this guy that he made like a ton of money on Dogecoin. Like, I think he invested like $250,000. He was trying to buy a house in LA, couldn't do it, took his money, invested it in Dogecoin, and ended up making like, he made like $2 million off of it.
Oh shit. That's so wild.
He's tearing up, like talking about how he's going to buy his mother a house now, like rightfully so. But it's like, I feel like it's like millennials now, it's like in Gen Z, you have to be on the cusp of new enterprises because we're shut out of these old ones.
Do you think buying your mom a house with Dogecoin money is like Hurley buying his mom a house with cursed lottery money and lost? Like, is this just no bueno?
I knew where that was going.
Can't use those numbers, Hurley.
I think it's super weird though, because like you're right. There's a generation of people, right, who have been locked out of certain aspects of like traditional adulthood and like progression in adulthood, buying a house, having kids, and all that stuff. But all of that was attributed to cost of living, right? Like, there's a whole millennial class that are making decent wages, but it's not enough to buy a home. It's not enough to start a family, but somehow it's enough to buy super high value
baseball cards.
I don't think everyone's spending $150,000 on these, right? Like, right?
Maybe you're spending like $3,000 and hoping someday that card will be worth $50,000.
I guess. I just found out that Charlie Bit My Finger is being auctioned as an NFT to be henceforth deleted forever.
It's nothing sacred.
Neon Cat was already sold, so was Keyboard Cat and David After Dentist. It's a fucking new age that I do not understand.
Sold by who? Who
I don't know who's buying it, or
who owns that stuff at this point?
If I was 50, or if I was a billionaire, what I would do is I would secretly purchase like the NFT for like the Keyboard Cat, what have you, and people will go, oh, Keyboard Cat, oh no, but then I would give it back to the people, put it in a museum.
But what does that even mean, though? Because you just have a file.
I have no fucking idea.
Everybody already owns.
We can't get it. We can't get into this.
I can download it right now on YouTube.
The
we can't talk about
makes
this.
No sense to me.
I'm worried someone will start tweeting at me about non-fungible bullshit. Non.
This has gotten too dark. We need to bring it up. We need to bring up the mood. Aliens are here. They're living among us. That's all I have to say.
And they're buying Pokemon cards.
They're buying Pokemon cards. Ryan, you're terrified?
Yeah, you should be too. Everyone should.
No.
Of aliens. Yes.
Well,
Why would you be terrified? Why is that your immediate response?
What do you got to hide, Ryan?
Look, as much as I want the cute, cuddly alien to come visit and us become good ET buddies, that is very rare. Probably not going to happen. I think it's like, I agree with all these other people that are scared of, AI and stuff. They're like, if there's fucking aliens that are going to be stupid enough to show their faces to us, then they're coming here to kill us. We're an anthill. They're just going to stomp on it. They're just going to take all of our shit and say, fuck all these little dumb ants.
they're not here to kill us. If anything, they're just here for our resources, and then they'll just let us die a slow death.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be the second best thing that could happen. If they just came
we're
and took
doing that
all
for
of one
ourselves.
resource. Yeah, the best
There's
thing
no
is
middle
we're buddies.
ground?
I want there to
Yeah,
the best
but
thing is
there's
we
nothing
party.
between that. There's nothing between buddies and then them slowly killing us.
Well, I guess what I think a lot of people in this whole UFO thing is they think that they're just here among us and they're not letting themselves be known. They're just kind of like little tourist voyeurs.
Okay.
Because
Let me ask you-
because they saw that the
Question.
human condition is to immediately murder everything they don't understand. So any alien
yeah.
coming
Murder us
through.
first.
What's
Question.
different is bad.
No.
I have a question for you, Ryan.
Yeah.
If you were traveling to a foreign planet, an alien planet,
I'd be very
and
respectful, yes.
you're part of this mission, would you be like, oh, let's go there and let's eradicate the population?
No, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
Well, we can maybe, hope that aliens are basically exactly the same as Ryan, which I feel like,
It's close.
But there's many like we're kind of we have this tunnel vision of our worldview here after a couple million years of being a species and stuff, give or take on
think
what you
so.
think.
Couple million.
Whatever.
I think it's less than
Thousands,
that.
hundreds of thousands. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. All I know is that
The Earth is only 5,000 years old. Come on.
who gives a shit?
That's right. Yeah. Dinosaur bones
There-
were put there.
If,
To mislead us.
there's a galaxy far, far away. Then they're a bazillion years into their evolution. Yeah, who knows? They might not have
You
as
know
nice
what?
of a cheery, like, oh, let's just help all the aliens out, bro. Worldview that all of us here on this podcast do. They probably let's go take the resources and kill the ants.
We're jumping to conclusions way too much, which is the plural. Why not one spunky little fun alien? I'm talking E.T. I'm talking
That's
the
what
Flintstones
Paul,
friend.
I would love
I'm
that. I
talking.
would love
I'm
that.
talking Tony Shalhoub.
Best case scenario
you
there.
know, it's like that's and if that does happen, there's no way we'd be able to communicate with them. So we would just have to kill it.
Here's
No,
why this
I'm not
hubbub
saying
is
that.
happening, because last year there were a few declassified Pentagon videos, 3 that showed April 2020, the Pentagon officially declassified 3 videos of UFOs, unidentified flying objects. They were quite small, but according to the Department of Defense, they don't match any record of currently known aircraft. And then last month, the DoD officially released yet another collection of videos containing unidentified aerial phenomenon. And there's really no context with them. But next month is the big one, because there was it's just so weird. There was a hidden stipulation in the $2.3 trillion COVID relief bill that happened back in December that stipulates that all U.S. intelligence agencies had 180 days from the bill's signing to show Congress everything they know about UFOs. I'm like, it's only in America.
Where did that come from?
I know.
Who
It was,
what senator or congressperson was like, now's my chance?
Marjorie
Cure
Taylor,
COVID.
Marjorie
We need to
Taylor
know
Greene
this shit.
getting in there.
Yeah. So now everybody's like, okay, well, this is going to be next month. So yeah.
There's a tweet that I saw yesterday that I wanted to read to you that is in direct relation to this, which was a 60 Minutes tweeted a quote, "I don't know who's building it, who's got the technology, who's got the brains, but there's something out there that was better than our airplane," says former Navy pilot David Fravor about his experience with a UFO off the Pacific coast in 2004. So that's one of the clips. Yeah, that one. Oh, well, okay. That's just a CNN caption video. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about is a response to that tweet from a rando user that says, if these things don't belong to us, the Pentagon needs to make the capture of one of these a priority. Drop everything else. We must find out what they are, how it works, and where they come from. And it's so funny to me just this guy who, in the midst of everything happening with Palestine and COVID and BLM and just the world, is like, this is the single most important thing. We need to drop it all. We need to go. And he's just like beating this drum. I want to meet this person. Well, no, I want to observe this person.
Was his name Richard Montañez?
It was Richard Montañez.
Oh, I think I hear Armando come back in. Oh no, Armando!
It's so fun. Oh, yeah.
You sons of bitches.
It's super fun that like shit like this is coming back around. You know, I feel like the internet ruined all the fun stuff we had before, like Bigfoots. Yeah, like Bigfoots, any kind of mystery, anything that wasn't like immediately identifiable, people would just like ponder and talk about, and there wasn't an answer. You know, you couldn't go to Google and find the specific answer. So your one friend was like, well, actually, it's just this, and it kills all the fun that we were having.
Right,
like,
right. Halo is coming to N64. My uncle said so.
Yeah, but the fact that there's shit that people don't know about, and we're getting videos of it again, you know, because we haven't had like, you know, the advent of cell phone video pretty much killed the UFO market because everyone can take video of everything that's happening instantly. All the fun stuff like that stopped happening.
Like, Omar, have we moved to another tier now where because technology is so ubiquitous and it's so advanced that like for example, I just saw a video where it made the Harry Potter actors American. And I was like, whoa, somebody just did this.
Yeah.
Expelliarmus.
Yeah. I'm like, this is the world we live in now.
Well, that's going to be fucked up when you can't trust a videotape. You know, when I literally can be on a podcast here and go, I wonder if this is actually just somebody's really complicated AI that they developed, and I'm talking to Omar's computer software or something. That's going to come soon.
They bugged the software.
Here,
that's
right?
why there's two of us here right now.
Oh yeah. With the UFO thing though, it's funny because when I was a kid, I definitely thought like UFOs were strictly aliens. Like I was like, that's just aliens are in UFOs, but really it's like they're literally unidentified flying objects.
Right.
So
it might be a boy with balloons.
Could be very reasonable explanation for what a UFO is, and it usually is. But I do like the fact that we have this raw video of these things that are going around. But like Elise said, we can't fucking trust this stuff. So I don't know.
It's so mysterious that when you think you have a handle on it, though, all it takes is one person to go, but do you think that's really true? And then you're right back at square one. Like I was reading about Roswell and like Mylar balloons, and I told someone, I'm like, yeah, here's what happens because this material looked like this, and they were doing this with it. And then someone went, but isn't that what the government would want you to think? And
Exactly.
like, fucking
and
damn it.
that's what I said to Armando. I was like, isn't this what Frito-Lay wants us to believe? Like that this guy, you know,
unidentified Frito object.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to like throw finger or throw shade or blame or anything, but have we cross-referenced when UFO activity spiked and when Flamin Hot Cheetos were invented?
That's a great
That's
question.
a good point.
I think they're just coming for our hot
Too
Cheetos.
busy licking Cheeto dust.
Who's
Yeah,
we?
it's-
The five of us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world?
Did you not see?
Humans?
There's another stipulation in that bill that says that we have to find where the UFOs are coming from.
Did you not see there's a stipulation that says you can't doubt Mondo? You can't say anything back to him.
I've never personally had a UFO or weird alien experience. But a couple of years ago, I was doing a shoot in Austin with some local crew that usually work with Rooster Teeth from time to time, and a bunch of them had just been on another production where they shot on location outside in like a remote wooded area, and they were all like, at one point we saw this thing in the sky, this flying thing and lights and stuff, and they were all like, we all like saw it. We all tried to figure out what it could be, but all of us were in agreement. Like it wasn't a plane. It wasn't like,
A bird.
Yeah, they were like,
It wasn't
we saw
Superman.
something, and we don't want to sound crazy, but it was something we couldn't explain. And we Googled it and like to see if there was something happening in Austin, and they were like, UFO is the only thing.
Well, we should all go around the horn. Does everyone believe in aliens? At least you go first. Go.
I really want to believe that in the recesses and the expanses of the universe, that because, you know, life here was just this like happy accident, that it was able to happen elsewhere. And it probably won't like, you know, mimic or resemble us, but I feel like it's like, well, we fucking exist, so why couldn't something else on another planet that's habitable for it exist?
Checks
you know?
out.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Oh,
We're going to you
for
next.
sure. We're not alone, but we on Earth are alone.
Very
I
alone.
think universally, yeah. I mean, there's got to be something else out there, and I don't know.
So you're
what the fuck-
100%.
I don't know what
alien.
those psychos out there in the outer reaches of the cosmos are cooking up, but I'm sure it's fucked up beyond reason. I don't even know if we'd
Charlotte.
recognize
Yeah, we're
it
on
if
the
we
same
saw it. And I don't think anything will ever make it to Earth, but I think if it did, there's no way we could communicate. Or even understand that maybe, what if they're here already and they just exist in time instead of physical space? I don't know. It's just too big. So I just want to play my video games, just watch The Sopranos, and just turn off my brain and eat Cheetos.
Did you know that there's?
Cheetos with lime.
Did you
What's
like
that,
that arc in The Sopranos where he finds out the aliens exist?
I thought that was interesting. That only Paulie was experiencing it, but it made the rest of the character make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Omar, do you believe in aliens?
I mean, I think, yeah, realistically, there's probably something else going on in the universe somewhere, you know? But I don't think that's ever something that we're going to cross paths with.
Well, that's a separate question.
It doesn't seem likely. It's very improbable that that we'll experience meeting extraterrestrial life.
Yeah.
But they they found fucking bacteria or whatever on Mars, right? Like, isn't there like the same shit that spawned life here? It started happening in other places. It just didn't have the same magic potion that made it work here, right? Isn't that right? Isn't it they find like bacterias or something other
It
places?
was
like
frozen,
single-cell
I think,
organisms?
was it not?
They're too close to the damn sun.
Yeah.
Too close to the damn sun.
Yeah.
Sun's too damn high.
Damn, son, you're too close to me.
Yeah, I'm at almost exactly 51% that I think that aliens exist. That's where I'm at. Like it's like I go back and
51%.
forth. I'm like right teetering on the edge. I'm like, all right, it's so fucking hard to make the perfect ingredients for life to happen, and it could be that we are just the lottery winners. But then the universe is so fucking big that the lottery has happened an infinite amount of times. So I could see it totally. I'm right there on the cusp of saying that there's probably aliens somewhere of some degree of intelligence. I don't know if they're way high or way low compared
they're
to ours.
probably on Earth.
What's
You've
more
seen this-
believable, aliens or the multiverse?
Well, no, and I was going to get to that point because I think that is something I think in our lifetime could happen. I think in our lifetime we could actually prove that shit. And basically
Why?
have a new entire
Wait, hold on.
a new for law of the universe that we figure out.
How is that
And
more
Wait,
plausible?
hold on.
How
Back up a
is
little
that
bit.
more-
because there's a lot of space. There's a lot of light years to get between one place or another that life could happen. That's like finding a needle in a haystack, but proving using just the patterns of the laws of nature on this planet, and then figuring out and then using our own AI technology to make our own simulations.
AI?
Yeah.
Whoa,
and then we can
Quantum computing.
exactly, and then we can kind of prove that is happening.
I think Ryan ate the wrong sandwich again. I think he's tripping
I'm
out. Okay,
I'm
back-
halfway through these chicken nuggets here.
Yeah, those chicken nuggets that he's been saving
Yeah,
in his
definitely.
freezer for the last couple of years.
Wait,
Eating
what?
some kind of
Christ.
nugs.
Yeah.
Some kind of
Those are the
nugs, but it's like
actual-
weed.
Those nugs have the same bacteria they found on Mars, by the way. That's what he's eating.
Oh, shit.
Did you get
Like
those
aliens?
nugs from Dr. Nugs? Dr.
Okay.
Nugs drugs.
No.
And time stretches ever onwards,
I
and you
got 'em-
see the parallel universes, Ryan. It's all laid out in front of you. You just
I
have to
got
go
it
to the
from
news.
an old farmer named McDonald.
Audio listeners, if you could only see.
Mondo has entered the Doctor Strange verse, or Ant-Man, one or the other. When's the last time
realm.
you talked to like a bona fide UFO person, like a real out there, like I'm a believer, No, like it's their like fucking what's the guy from
Like
Blink-182?
Tom DeLonge.
Tom DeLonge, yeah.
Yeah, I
like
love
that
him.
level. Because I had a guy cut my hair once who was like way on that level, and he told me about ufology, and he talked to me about Zebra Protocol, which is above top secret. And he talked to me about
I don't know
rainbow
Zebra
bodies.
I don't know Zebra Protocol. What is that?
Zebra Protocol is above top secret. It's only known by 4 people, and they're civilians. They're not, and so I asked him once, and this is all
Really?
while he was giving me a haircut.
'Cause-
I asked him once, I was like, does that mean judges? Like, can they be in it? He's like, there's probably one judge.
Really?
I was
Because
like,
I just
mean, the
Googled
lizard
it.
people.
And it says Zebra is a routing software package that provides TCP/IP based routing services. With
Whoa,
routing
whoa, whoa!
protocols.
Don't read anymore, or else they're a sponsor.
you can't say it on air.
I hope that like a bunch of
secret code.
people
Somebody's gonna get
break.
activated.
Yeah, I hope like 4 dudes in suits break into my home and like just rip my computer out of the wall.
Well, this guy was so.
Is it a coincidence that in the background of Ryan's thing is a giant zebra flag?
Oh my god! Also,
God.
it's not Zebra Protocol. I actually, what he was saying was so out there that I said, "Can I take notes so I can look this up later?" He's like, "100%. I always encourage note taking." And it's Zebra clearance, and it's 41 levels above top secret. So there are 40 other levels between top secret and Zebra clearance, which is known by 4 people, one of which is probably
What
a
are
judge.
those
What if-
things like cheetah clearance, leopard?
He didn't go into detail. He actually went from that to talk about the Ascension.
Okay.
She knows.
This could be its own.
Take
This
her
could be
out.
its own podcast because he was telling me about ufology, which is unidentified flyingology. I guess.
I'm gonna say that those weren't nuggets; those are embryos.
Oh my god!
I do
Ryan's become a
hope
I
host.
feel something kicking.
if the aliens land here, I do hope they find Ryan first.
Please.
Like, and I mean that in the
I'll
best
calm them
way.
down. We'll
They've
chill out.
probably been your
We'll smoke
roommate
some
already.
nugs.
Because they'll have a fucking
Stories I've
blast.
heard.
I thought it was interesting that Ryan didn't ask me about my thoughts on aliens, probably because I already told him when we were in the office, and he's too scared for me to speak my truth.
I'm so sorry, Armando, that I skip you. Armando, do you believe in aliens?
Of course, I don't believe in aliens because
Okay, I'm glad we had one skeptic on here.
there was no time for God in His infinite wisdom.
All right, let's
I'm
wrap it
sorry.
up.
Wait, which
No
God?
time for God.
There was no time.
That's our show for this week.
God
Now
first
they
He
go from
created
Lisa's
light,
house
then He
to rip
created
mine
darkness,
down.
and then He created hot Cheetos in Rancho Cucamonga, California.
God's country.
That is about our time for this week, and we kind of have to wrap it up here. But there's tons of cool stuff happening on Funhaus this week. We mentioned it earlier, but the live event, the Funhaus Murder from the Top Rope murder mystery, you can watch that if you're a first member on Rooster Teeth, alongside a bunch of other exclusive videos, gameplays that we have on Rooster Teeth. And coming to YouTube this weekend, back in studio for a drinking game pub crawl. Who was in this video? Ryan, were you in this? The pub crawl?
No. What
Gameplay.
is it? I don't know what
Drinking
you're talking
sim.
about.
This was the drinking sim thing that
Yeah.
you and I did with Lindsay and Patrick.
Oh, I was in this.
Yeah.
Yes, I had a great time.
Must have
much
been
so.
must have been a good drinking sim.
No, it honestly was. Yeah, I didn't realize it was called the drinking sim, but yeah, the fact it was the Sims game. Yes, this one was hilarious. I
It's so
remember the
funny.
recording was. I don't think I've seen the full video though.
Is this
I think Justin cut
another
it.
dump of Ryan lore in this one?
I don't even know
Sort
what that
of.
means
There's
anymore.
there's kind of Patrick. There's kind of like lore across the table because the 4 of us go hard on Catholicism. In the
Oh,
video.
it's there. It's the Apostle Posse.
It's the Apostle Posse, which
Oh, okay.
is
Yes,
a
I
new
remember
emerging group. Also,
Yeah, we have a new
including
club.
Lindsay
the
and
Apostle
Ryan,
Posse.
Apostle Posse. It's extremely funny. I will watch it again and again until the sun dies and the aliens come and take our resources and bring Ryan with them.
Yay! I would like to go if they took me and they go, "Hey, we'll keep you safe. We're not gonna hurt you, but we do have to take you to our home planet." I'd be kind of cool with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got a couple dry couches we need you to help us with.
Oh, I can help you out with that anytime, aliens.
You piss and they put you in
You
the
watching?
airlock.
Hit me
Hey,
up. You know
hey,
where I
aliens!
live.
We have some whole complete sandwiches here.
That's interesting. Why does this one have a note on it?
I can't read.
Are you any of you renting a closet out?
We are now robots, not aliens.
There's not that much of a difference if you.
Yeah. I don't know how to speak alien.
Also coming to the channel this weekend, Cartel Tycoon gameplay with Alan Shane. Your boy Alan Shane, Toronto's finest, rocket from the T-Dot. You know how Cardinal taught us. This is a thing that I am chanting now for like 3 people that
From the
understand what I'm
six?
talking about. From the no.
Great views from the 6.
If you legit, you don't say the 6. You say the T-Dot. It's how we rock it in the T-Dot. Cardinal taught us. Cardinal Oficial, he taught us. It's the T-Dot.
Okay.
I don't know
I
what
think it's-
language you're speaking right now.
I think it's just an age thing. And the fact that I left Canada before they started calling it the 6.
There's a woo-woo next week, I think, where Ryan and I talk about, was it Tim Hortons?
Oh, yeah.
That's
What do you
gonna-
mean, what is it? It's absolutely Tim Hortons.
Well, someone called it Timmy's, and we kind of assumed it
yeah.
was Tim Hortons. Okay,
oh, yeah. You
good,
get
then
your
we know,
double
right?
double from Timmy's. You know how it is.
Yeah. Well, we were watching a video of someone who like crashed their car into a Timmy's, and so be on the lookout for that.
Oh. Also, this Monday on YouTube, the finale of Dawn's Sega Bass fishing tournament is one you don't want to miss. That tournament was awesome.
Oh, shit. And let's just say shit goes down at the end of that one. It
really does.
Spoil anything.
But yeah, thank you, Armando, Cody, for putting together a fantastic show for everybody this week. And thank you, Charlotte, Ryan, and Omar for being here and hanging out. Thank you, me,
Thank you
for doing the ad reads.
Welcome.
Thank you, sponsors.
Big ups
Thank
to
you,
God.
Thank you, God.
listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
to
Funhaus
the big man
viewers.
upstairs.
Thank you, aliens. Thank you, any
And-
aliens who are Funhouse fans, especially you.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Cody
can
doing a little self-promotion in the lower third. Watch Murder from the Top Rope. TD'd by
Finally
Cody.
taking some credit.
Cody, can we get a lower third
Thank
for
you,
God?
Thank you, Richard Montañez, for unequivocally creating the Flaming Hot Cheeto.
All right.
it's
We
dick.
stand
I'm
I'll
by
say
you.
Richard,
Oh, yeah.
Richard is innocent. Richard is innocent. Got thrown
Free
under the bus.
Richard.
That's not
Frito-Lay
what Frito-Lay
is
says.
evil.
That's not what Frito-Lay
Here's
says.
what I say. Richard, if you want to come on the podcast to tell your story, this is an invitation. You are
Oh
welcome.
my God! Come on.
He
do
lives
it.
in Los Angeles. Oh, fuck yeah, boy! That
For
was
audio
big up.
listeners, there's a lower third, Chiron for God.
You think Dick is going to come into the house tank? Come on, Dick.
Dick
Let's go.
Yeah,
Tañez.
Dick
Explain
Montañez.
yourself, Cheeto man.
Dick Mon.
Liar, liar. Yeah, what was it on the script? Liar, liar, pants on flaming hot fire. That's what we're calling you out.
I like how everyone's being like so aggro, but if he was here, everyone would go, "Oh, hello, Richard. Oh, so good to meet you.
No, 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 no.
it's not
Here's the thing.
true.
This one
Hey,
goes out
that's
to
what
this
I'm
one goes
saying
out to
right now.
Richard. If we get you on the show and I find out, if I, Armando Torres, find out that you lied about inventing Flamin' Hot Cheetos, I can't be responsible for what I do.
What are you going to do? What are
He
you
will
gonna
do nothing.
Okay.
Get
Oh,
his ass.
I'm
Get his
He will
ass.
sit there and
I'm
yell
gonna
at
cover
you.
Get his
him in
ass.
chili and lime, and I'm gonna eat that
Drag
ass.
him. Yes,
All right.
drag
Yeah.
him. On down. And we're looking at a picture of the Beanie Baby divorce court, but instead of Beanie Babies, it's a pile of bags of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Perfect.
To kind of bring it all full
Perfect.
circle.
Full circle.
That's our show for this week. Have a great and safe week, everybody. Tune into the channel every day. Check out what's new. Go to Rooster Teeth. Check out what's new. And we'll see you next week.